feel it, don't you? That constant simmering irritation just below the surface. You snap at your partner for asking a simple question. You feel a surge of rage when someone cuts you off in traffic. You get frustrated with yourself over a tiny mistake. You chalk it up to stress, a bad day, or just, other people. But what if that quick-to-ignite anger isn't really about the anger itself? What if it's a mask, a protective shield for a much deeper, quieter emotion you haven't been able to face? There's a useful framework some psychologists use that sees anger as a secondary emotion. The idea is that it's often a reaction to a more vulnerable primary feeling, like sadness. Anger can feel powerful, mobilizing, a surge of energy that makes us feel in control instead of helpless. Sadness, on the other hand, can feel like weakness, a vulnerability many of us are taught to hide. So let's explore 10 signs that your anger might actually be sadness in disguise and what you can do to start healing the real hurt underneath. If you find yourself in a state of constant irritation, you are definitely not alone. It's an incredibly common psychological defense mechanism. Our brains are wired for survival, and when faced with feelings of loss, hurt, or disappointment, anger can feel like a more active and less vulnerable state to be in. It's a way of creating external order when you feel chaotic inside. Think of the classic anger iceberg model. The visible tip is the anger you show the world, but the vast mass of emotion, the hurt, the fear, the grief, lies hidden beneath the surface. This is especially true in cultures that discourage showing vulnerability. For many men, in particular, sadness is often seen as a weakness, while anger is viewed as a more acceptable, even powerful outlet. So, if you recognize this pattern in yourself, please understand that it's not a character flaw. It's a survival strategy. The problem is, over time, it's a strategy that can damage our relationships and our mental health and keep us from truly healing. Sign number 1. You get disproportionately angry at small things. This is the classic sign. You spill your coffee and it triggers a wave of fury. A slow driver feels like a personal attack. These small annoyances become the target for a huge, unnamed well of emotion. This can happen because your emotional container is already full of unprocessed sadness or grief. Think of it like a glass of water filled to the very brim. A single drop is all it takes to make it overflow. The anger isn't about the spilled coffee. The spilled coffee is just the drop that finally unleashed the flood. The reaction feels so out of proportion because it isn't just about the present moment, but about months or even years of unaddressed pain. Sign number 2, you experience persistent irritability or resentment. This isn't about huge explosions. It's a low-grade, constant state of being annoyed. It often shows up as sarcasm, cynicism, or a general bitterness. This lingering resentment is frequently just unprocessed sadness that has fermented over time. When we feel we've been let down or treated unfairly, that sadness can get tangled up with a defensive anger meant to protect us from more hurt. This is a key feature of what's sometimes called irritable depression, a pattern often seen in depressive disorders where the main mood isn't obvious sadness, but constant frustration and impatience. If you find yourself constantly replaying old hurts, it's often a sign that the original sadness of that betrayal or loss was never fully dealt with. It's easier to feel angry at someone than to admit just how much they hurt you. Sign number 3, you feel emotionally numb or flat. A telltale sign of repressed emotions is a feeling of being disconnected or numb. Life loses its color, and you might struggle to feel real joy or excitement. In this emotional desert, anger can become the only thing that makes you feel alive, providing a jolt of energy in an otherwise empty landscape. One classic psychoanalytic theory suggests that when powerful emotions are suppressed and turned inward, they can contribute to depression. It takes a huge amount of psychological energy to keep sadness bottled up, which can leave you feeling chronically exhausted. If you feel empty inside, but find yourself clinging to moments of anger just to feel something, it's a powerful clue that the anger is a desperate attempt to override a deeper state of sadness. Sign number 4. Your anger is directed at yourself. Is your inner critic just relentless? Do you spiral into intense guilt or shame after an angry outburst? This is a form of anger turned inward. According to one influential psychoanalytic idea, this is a classic mechanism where sadness and disappointment with the world get redirected toward yourself. You become the main target of your own rage, with thoughts like, "I'm always the problem," or "I ruin everything." This self-directed anger often stems from a deep-seated sadness tied to feelings of worthlessness. You might lash out at others at first, but the main event is the wave of self-hatred that follows. This creates a vicious cycle. The underlying sadness fuels an outburst. The outburst causes guilt, and the guilt deepens the sadness. Sign number 5. You suffer from unexplained physical tension and ailments. Our bodies often keep the score. Unprocessed emotions can be held in the body as stress, which may contribute to a host of physical symptoms. If you suffer from chronic headaches, a constantly clenched jaw, persistent neck and shoulder pain, or digestive issues, it could be a sign that your body is expressing the sadness you won't let yourself feel. This is related to a concept known as somatization, where emotional distress can manifest as physical pain. Now, it's crucial to remember that these conditions have many possible causes and require a proper medical evaluation. But if you notice your muscles tensing up before an angry outburst, it's your body entering a fight mode, possibly driven by the chronic stress of unprocessed pain. So why does this happen? A lot of it is learned. Many of us are taught that some emotions are unacceptable. Phrases like "man up" or "don't be a crybaby" send a clear message. Sadness is weakness. Anger, however, can feel powerful and more socially acceptable. This psychological shift from a vulnerable feeling like sadness to a defensive one, like anger, can happen so fast that we don't even consciously register the initial hurt. Anger can act as a shield, but it's important to say that anger isn't always a cover-up. It can also be a healthy, primary, and totally appropriate response to injustice or having your boundaries violated. The key is knowing the difference. When anger is a defense, it's a way to avoid the discomfort of vulnerability. But in doing so, we prevent ourselves from ever healing the original wound. Sign number 6, you isolate yourself and withdraw from relationships. When your default emotional state is irritation, relationships inevitably suffer. You might find yourself pushing people away, consciously or not. This withdrawal is often driven by a deep sadness rooted in a fear of abandonment or betrayal. The flawed logic is simple. If I don't let anyone get close, they can't hurt me again. This creates a self-perpetuating cycle of loneliness. You feel sad because you're disconnected, but your anger, the shield for that sadness, prevents you from forming the very connections you need to heal. It deepens your isolation and reinforces the underlying belief that you're all alone in your pain. Sign number 7, you have out of nowhere, explosive outbursts. These are the moments of rage that seem to come from absolutely nowhere, get triggered by something tiny, and leave you feeling exhausted and ashamed. Unlike the slow burn of resentment, these are volcanic eruptions. These outbursts are often a sign that the container of unprocessed emotions has completely burst. The hidden grief has reached a critical mass, and the nervous system just can't hold it in anymore. After the anger fades, you're not left with resolution, but with a hollowed-out exhaustion. That exhaustion is the clue. It's the feeling of finally touching, just for a moment, the profound sadness that was fueling the rage all along. Sign number 8, you have revenge fantasies or hold on to grudges. Do you spend a lot of time stewing over how you've been wronged, fantasizing about getting even? This is a clear sign that anger is being used to shield you from the powerlessness that often comes with sadness. When we experience a significant injustice, the sadness can make us feel helpless. Creating a revenge narrative in our minds provides a sense of control. It's a way of mentally rewriting the story so you are the powerful one, not the victim. Holding on to a grudge is like refusing to put down a heavy shield long after the battle is over. Dropping it would mean finally having to tend to the wounds underneath. These fantasies are less about justice and more about avoiding the pain of accepting a difficult reality. Sign number 9. You are a chronic people pleaser who secretly boils with resentment. This might seem counterintuitive, but people pleasing is a common setup for repressed anger. People pleasers often avoid conflict because they fear rejection or abandonment, a fear rooted in sadness and insecurity. They suppress their own needs and feelings to keep others happy. But those feelings don't just vanish. They build up into a silent, simmering resentment. You might say yes to everything with a smile, while inside a voice is screaming, no. Eventually, this resentment leaks out as passive-aggressive comments, sarcasm, or sudden anger over something minor. This anger is the cry of your neglected inner self, protesting the self-abandonment that people-pleasing requires. Sign number 10. Your anger is accompanied by classic symptoms of depression. Often, the clearest sign is when your anger shows up alongside other classic symptoms of depression. Feeling hopeless, losing interest in things you once enjoyed, changes in sleep or appetite, and a pervasive sense of worthlessness. For many people, especially children and adolescents, depression doesn't look like quiet sadness. It manifests as intense irritability. While there can be many drivers for these feelings, if you feel constantly on edge but also have a deep sense of hopelessness, it's highly possible that your anger and sadness are two sides of the same coin. Your mind may be using anger as an outlet because the alternative, feeling the full depth of the sadness, feels unbearable. If you recognized yourself in any of these 10 signs, take a deep breath, because now that we've identified the mask, we can learn how to take it off. Recognizing that your anger might be a messenger for your sadness is the first most powerful step. The goal isn't to get rid of anger, but to listen to it. When you feel that familiar irritation rising, try this, the pause and ask technique. Instead of immediately reacting, just pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now underneath this? Is it hurt, disappointment, fear? Simply naming the primary emotion can take away some of its power. Allow yourself to feel sad. You don't have to wallow in it. Just let it exist. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to write, write. The goal isn't to fix the sadness, but to witness it. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd give a friend who is hurting. Acknowledge the pain underneath the anger without judgment. Self-compassion is the antidote to the shame that keeps the whole cycle going. Your anger isn't your enemy. You could even see it as a loyal, if misguided, protector. It may have been shielding you from a sadness that felt too overwhelming to face. But you don't have to live in a state of constant, simmering anger. By learning to gently look beneath the surface, you can start to understand what your anger is trying to tell you and heal the real hurt at the core. If this resonated with you, share your experience in the comments. Which sign surprised you the most? Sharing our stories helps us all feel a little less alone. And for more insights into your own psychology, be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss what's next.